Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, broadcasting live from Nairobi and London. This is Matsanga Africa Perspective Show, a show by Punchline Africa TV. In the studio today, we have Dr. Jeff Kaluyu, as he will tell us more about his background. He's a Kenyan who lives in the United States. He has written so many books, journals. He's an academic, a scholar of international repute. He lives in the States, works for Africa, fights for equality in Africa. We were very, very, very pleased and very honored this morning to cut his Saturday endeavors and to bring him to the studio. Dr. Jeff Kalu.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate Dr. Matsanga.
First of all, before we go to the subject, this show is a free talk, educative, informative. Inform Africans, those who are listening all over the world, all over the globe, in Cape Town, Cairo, Dakar, Lagos, Abuja, Bamako, Harare, Rwanda, Maputo, Dar es Salaam, Nairobi, Kampala. They are listening. They want to know you. They want to know who you are, what you do, where you were born, how you came to this level of motivational speaker, an academic, a person who has struggled through all these channels, all these routes. The journey has been long. Discuss, talk.
First, Dr. Matsanga, I appreciate having me in the studios this morning. And number two, I want to thank you for providing the platform for the African continent and across the world to discuss issues for people to know Africa and also understand things of people who have come from humble beginnings to and have gone through tough times, and to be able to inform and be a good example to others that dreams can be achieved. Now, talking about myself specifically regarding your question, my background, I was born in a small poor village in Africa, specifically in Kenya.
Yes.
As a little boy, my biggest dreams were those of my grandfather, owning a lot of cows and goats and being able to be the one to name them.
Which is this village?
Malungu village, that is in Kitui, today's Kitui County. And yeah, I wanted to be like my grandfather, you know, owning a lot of cows, because my dreams were just that limited, just like my grandfather. Then, as I grew older, I realized that my grandfather's dreams were limited.
Yes.
So I needed to dream more, to be able to be like my uncles, my people I heard on radio. I thought when I was little that there was someone behind the radio who spoke. I wanted to be that person who is entertaining people and singing. I tried always to peep in the back of my radio or of our radio to see whether they're that person. I never found the person. Even today, I've never found the person. But as I went through, one of the greatest turning points was I would associate that with my parents, because despite the fact that we were poor, and my parents were away a lot of times trying to work to put the roof over our heads, and food on the table, they never put me down to tell me that I was good for nothing. They kept on telling me it is possible. And that's something I always tell a lot of parents, that kids' brains, our youth or anyone young, they are looking to be acknowledged because they really don't have a lot of identity. So later I went to United States and I carried...
At what age was that? When did you leave Africa to go to the United States?
I went at the age of 21, tender age of 21 after I left high school.
On green card?
No, actually, this is...
On scholarship?
Actually, the answer is no either.
On friendship? On visa travel?
And that
on
makes...
a tourist travel? I want to know. We want the younger people to be motivated. And those who try life and then they think life is gone, because you and I have gone through this journey.
You know, that question, Dr. Matsanga, I really do appreciate it, because it is very important to me, and it, you know, hits the heart of many things, and how young people, I don't believe there is enough examples around for the youth to follow, and this, answering this question makes me feel contributive to the Kenyan community and to the youth in some way. I had no scholarship. I had only a dream in my head. I had no money. My parents were not rich. I tried. I could not penetrate through the political fabric to get people to even contribute the money for me. But one thing, the burning fire in my head kept telling me that I needed to go for higher education. In fact, briefly, I had gotten a job in Standard Chartered Bank, and my friends in Standard Chartered Bank, who we worked together when I was younger, now I look different. I say hello. But I was really basically poor. My parents, you know, they were kind of resistant, because they knew if I go there, nobody's going to be able to support me and things may go wrong. But I had a dream. My dream was mine, and I did not want anyone to believe in my dream, and I needed to go forward. So I tried to take them to contribute. I mean, go to the savings, look at the money that I had. I applied for I-20 through Ramapo College of New Jersey. I went to, you know, to get my visa. I was lucky to get someone to sponsor me. But those days things were easier when I went the other side. But I went to the airport, I remember, by myself. My parents were very sad. They thought they lost someone, because why am I so undermined? That I wanted to go abroad.
To the States.
I have no money.
A new place.
And I'm by myself. I just got in a bank from the bank.
Yes.
A new place and chartered waters.
Yes.
So, talking about your
where racism.
Where there's racism, and I was
still there.
It is still there, and I was black, and I had an accent.
Yes.
I had an accent, so I had so many
You've
things.
Lost the accent. I can see you have the American accent. But some of us have not lost our African accent. I have kept mine.
I think just a little bit. I'm very African to the core. That's why I'm in Africa now.
Yes.
Really to work with other people. But one thing I want to tell the youth is that a dream, you cannot let that fire go off. In fact, I will talk about my book later, which is, you know, about succeeding in the face of challenge. I needed to succeed. And America faced its challenge, posed its challenge. I made my statement, and I decided that I'm going to go to school. Today, I have a PhD. I'm a Wall Street, experienced young man. Financial analyst. I worked for 6 years in Wall Street.
The universities are open.
A campus dean for 5 years.
Yes.
A professor of health service administration, actually a popular professor. I've been able to author a couple of books.
Yes.
I've owned my own businesses, and I would say that it is possible, no matter where you come from, and being disgruntled by other voices and ideologies that offer alternative methods, quick gains do not pay off. So I mean, I am a...
No despair. Don't ever despair.
Non-despair. And, you know, once you get at least there, I don't say I've made it, you know, there is always the next level.
Yes.
The mentorship to me is very important.
Yes.
There is tendency, once most people get there, they say they feel comfortable. And it's something I noticed when I came back to Africa, to Kenya, that once you make it to Nairobi, you don't go back to your village to be a good model and talk to them. I would like to be able to mentor young people, be part of the Kenyan effort against violent extremism.
That's the topic we are coming to.
Okay.
Now, why we want to share your brains today,
yes, sir,
is the role of the youth in security, governance, and development in Africa.
Perfect.
Prof,
Yes, sir.
our youth in crisis.
Yes.
Is the African youth in crisis?
The answer to that question is crisis, yes. And actually, it is less of what is happening than the impact and how we can control it. I think Africans, we are very strong in our backgrounds. And actually, funny enough, my PhD, I dealt with research to do with African culture, attitude, beliefs, but I'm from medical school, so I did urban health and education and environment. So I did a lot of work actually basically in Kenya, understanding African culture, beliefs, attitude, capacity building, and all those kind of things. We have to solve the youth issue the way we deal with things in the African way, building the right capacity. But first, we need to understand our youth and even to understand the statistics very well. We have about 36% of the Kenyan population of the 45 million or about there who are registered, because that's the only way we can quote numbers. They are youth. As a matter of fact, in some cities like Nairobi, the number is higher, would almost approximate to be 70%. And they are very strong. We have to understand who they are, why they do things the way they do at the times they are doing the things, because today is a totally different age. With that 36%, 70% of unemployment is on the youth. So we have quite a vulnerable population of youth that anything can easily happen. About Kenya, unemployment rate is about 40%.
Yes.
And with 40%, we are talking of majority are youth. 800,000 people in Kenya every year go to look for work. Only about 50%, 50,000, they kind of go to professional work. Yes. The rest are unemployed, the rest are still on the road.
What went wrong? What went wrong? Are they the government policies that have destroyed the thread that held the youth organizations, the youth, the families? Does this come back to families? Because when you talked about your background, you told me, you told the viewers about how your parents were concerned.
Yes, yes.
Are parents today concerned? What are factors? I'm going to give you a loaded question. What are the factors that have made parents to give up? What do they care about the youth? Do they care about the child? Do they care? People are more in looking for what to survive than looking at the family values.
Yes.
I believe you have children.
I have family, yeah.
Yes, you have a family.
Yeah.
And you, in the first world, we put families first.
First, yeah.
But in Africa of today, families seem to have disintegrated.
Yes, yes.
What went wrong?
You read my mind, Doc. I'm sorry for calling Doc.
Yes, so
we call each other Doc.
David will do.
Yeah, David. David.
Yes.
You read my mind. I have watched, and actually, yesterday I was very privileged to join Inspiration Kenya, a number of students who are brought together by the leaders within the city, and I addressed them yesterday. And as I thought about that, and I was thinking about it when I was coming to the studio, we have to identify first what are the determinants of disgruntled youth. And I saw one thing which was a disconnect a little bit. We are addressing mostly youth who we can round up quickly, university students.
Yes.
Yeah, those students are not that vulnerable.
Yes.
Because the vulnerable youth, the determinants or the characteristics, what we call the determinants, youth without work, youth who may have not the two parents.
Who are easily radicalized.
Who are easy to radicalize. And they are not even in WhatsApp as much. So we are trying to go digital so much, or let's get them to WhatsApp. Those youth who are very vulnerable, they are not even in WhatsApp.
Yes.
So we are addressing also them. We have almost come pouncing and saying, oh, now we love you. We realize you are the youth, and we go to address them personally. Now, you got to remember, youth do not have a lot of identity. They are trying to find identity. They are just coming out of the nest.
Yes.
But the most important thing I will tell you, it is the family. We cannot address youth alone without addressing the parents.
Yes.
We need to be able to bring them together. And this is where actually the county comes in very very handy. Because when you talk of family, you are talking of the nuclear coming from the federal level, then we come to the county level, we come to the village level, we come to the family level. Family level, you cannot leave your child alone. If he goes to Nairobi, he goes to the city, the local city, you have to call them and ask them, John, how are you doing? Can you come back home? You take them to the church, make them, they come back to the fold. Whether they are going to school or not, it's also the family's responsibility. In Western countries, someone is somebody's son, even when they are 40, even they are 60, the father calls the child and says, let's go for dinner.
Yes.
Tell me how you're doing.
Yes.
What are you doing lately?
It's very rare in Africa for us to call our daughters and sons.
David, we have to
take
strengthen
them for dinner.
Yes, strengthen the family. Now,
yes. Those are the factors I want you to punch.
Yes.
What are those factors that have forced
strengthen the family?
Yes.
And we need to stop kidding with research and just good lines of what seems to be nice. We do the hard work. We need to go directly understand what our youth really need. This young kid who was in the city, his name was Maurice Mwenda. He was the Nairobi, he was a homeless kid in Nairobi, and he was somehow a camera gentleman, a journalist, came across him, and he had very good English. And he was asked, what do you really want? What is the problem you stay on the streets? Because he said clearly, we had no opportunity. Youth are looking for opportunity. They are looking for belonging. They are looking to be appreciated. Plus, their mind is different from our mind. So we need to come back to understand their level to really to strengthen that. And the government, you asked, is it the government policies?
Yes.
Government is still learning because the youth is so big now. I think that we have to find which part the youth were born a lot, because we have now so big blowout of youth around us. So we need to be able to help parents rear their kids with the values of Kenya and giving them a stake in the country. When you own something, when you own a shoe, this wonderful shoe you are wearing today, David, you are not going to step on it, you're not going to dirtify it, because you have a stake, you like it.
I remember one thing, Doc, Jeff, went to North Korea in 1982 for a training of 3 weeks.
Yes.
And we had food in a restaurant. I was told, I do not know the regulations, but after eating, I was told, you have to go to the kitchen and wash the plate.
Okay.
To make the table.
Okay.
Those are the regulations in Pyongyang. Is it called Pyongyang? Pyongyang or whatever. Very young people, we had come out of Tanzania. Those days, after fighting Idi Amin, people were sponsored for quick courses. So our section was taken to North Korea. You go to the toilet, you have to leave it as it is. Otherwise, it's 3 months in jail. You don't wash your plate. You don't clean your table where you are in a restaurant, which as the owner, who should be doing the washing. You have to go to the kitchen. So we have come from a crisis. The youth have crisis. There is a crisis. We have seen the family. Now, we move further. We want to find out, do we really have policies that guide the youth towards getting their potential?
I have come across a number of things as I discover how the youth is being handled. And remember, this issue, it spreads across Africa, but of course the nucleus where we are in Nairobi, I can address even more specifically. I know, for example, the homeless. There is Nairobi, homeless house that the kids are taken. The Nairobi, we had a privilege to meet the Deputy Governor, Honorable Mweke, yesterday in Nairobi, and they are building, they have a piece of land they're going to be building for these kids who are underprivileged and vulnerable. They're going to be taking there, which is a good initiative. But I feel the initiatives or the policies are not enough. I think they are still trying to understand. They are also building social halls where the youth can meet and maybe get involved. And some NGOs, they are starting these engagement associations or initiatives. Now, this is where I find I was given a ride yesterday by one of the young men, and I'm always interested in the youth issues.
Yes.
And as I was coming, I asked the youth, so what are some, because I can see as a young man, driving, what are some of the major problems that you face as a youth? Do you have family? He said yes. So what do you want for a family? Because my punchline to him was, if you spoil Kenya the way it is, your kids will have to live in that Kenya.
Yes.
And if you make it bad, your kids will have to suffer.
The same.
And if you try to get the money quickly,
yes,
you have nowhere to eat this money because the place will be very, very tough to live in.
It's jail.
So it's jail too. So
Yes.
what do you want for your family? He said, I want to take my son to school as far as he can go. I will use my last penny till he goes to school. But I have a problem. Once he finishes school, I don't have the money to navigate him through the bribery and the corruption to get him to the places they want. And I thought about my radio show, which we will talk about that later. But I work with youth even abroad. This is not something I'm just coming to discover in the United States. I work with youth, low income and minorities to unleash the potential and give them the skills that they need. Yes. Some of the policies through the government need to be directed straight to the youth, teaching them how to interview even after they finish school, how to advance, to coordinate and network once they get the job, to advance and get promoted, how to use decorum in the society's expectations. Some of those things are very important. Youth, they finish universities, and when you talk to them, they kind of like, this is the degree, my dad, you wanted it. Now, let me tell you what I want. I wanted to be a rapper when I grow up. So you told me to go to school. I got the degree. The degree is yours now. Let me tell you what I want. So we need to be able to closely work with the youth and tell them what the corporate expectation is and put people in place. As a matter of fact, one thing I want to tell you before we even go further is, we have tendency of trying to lecture them.
Yes.
The hard work is using the actual youth themselves as a policy, even if it means financing, and I strongly suggest that. If you ask, and we can learn lessons, and this is not expensive. I wouldn't want to see to make this look like a grand scheme or expensive item that needs to be advanced. We can learn good lessons from little kids. When they are together, they listen to each other.
Yes.
And then after you tell them as an adult, they don't want to listen too much. Do you know who knows the youth more than anyone else? It's the fellow youth. We need to develop initiatives like Kiongozi initiative.
The Buntu.
The
Buntu.
I want to see
the patriotism. I was coming to that.
Yes.
Patriotism. The zeal amongst themselves.
Yes.
When we grew up,
yes,
you and I,
yes,
we had village parties,
yes, village
meetings.
Yes.
Those days in my village, I had a cinema van.
Yes, yes.
I think you had the
Outside,
same.
where you sit outside and
Yes.
watch. Yeah.
Every month,
Yes.
on 22nd, I remember, every 22nd
Yes.
of every month, this cinema van would come and show us films of Spencer, something like called Spencer.
Yeah.
And I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Recreational services,
Yes.
social halls
Yes.
were there. Those days, I grew up in the era of Milton Obote, the Uganda of
Yes.
good
I
days of
remember I was
Mutesa.
young. Yes.
Things were moving, post office was working, things were not, were good. Just as you grew up in the same direction.
Yes.
Now, we have avoided
Yes.
the center, the center point
Yes.
of how to influence other youth. We have not used the nucleus of another youth.
Yeah.
The point you have punched home is that one. But hold it there.
Okay.
When you look at democratization,
Yes.
the role of democratization,
Yes, yes.
because we are coming down.
Yes.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
Yes, yes,
Now
yes.
we come down to democratization.
Yes. Yes.
Are we on the path of Nkrumah in Africa?
You know, I think no. Those patriots, those are high. Those goals were set up very high by Kwame Nkrumah, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, those people who came before us, and we can learn something about patriotism. Because, and we are talking of also Mandela, people who spent 27 years, and Kenyatta spent a lot of years, Kwame Nkrumah, they kept...
Sekutore.
Yes.
We sing them.
We sing
Gabriel Nasser.
Exactly.
Look at them.
No matter what happened, their eyes were on the prize and they never gave up. Now, they had country at heart. Right now, the country is almost becoming social media, and there are no boundaries. We need to bring ourselves back to understand where do we come from, what do we care about, who are we as people. In fact, talking about the village, we are talking of, we invented, and it is quoted around the world, it takes a village to bring up the kids. And we own that finish line, but we have let it kind of go away. We need to bring it back to make sure that me, when I was going to school, if another father saw me on the street doing something that is wrong, he would stop me and tell me, if you continue doing it, I'm going to tell you.
Dad.
And you don't
That's the behavior I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yes.
So our youth, we need to own our youth. It doesn't have to be just the parents roam by themselves. A parent can't be everywhere. It's just like police, they can't be everywhere. The citizens have a responsibility for the community. So we need to buddy up, buddy system with the youth. And you tell them, we care about you. In fact, when I was young, when I was, as you become, I was youth too. And when you are youth, sometimes you become deviant. You know what, my mom is a very religious person. She would call the pastor, and the pastor would sit me, and she would disappear, and she had already explained to the pastor what my issues are. And he would talk to me nicely. Before I know, I've already told him many things, or my aunt would be taught to talk to me. There is that buddy system. You don't have to get it directly from the parents. And the parents, that's why I'm saying they have to play a role. Sometimes kids become deviant to the parents. And the parents have a role to go and tell, the mentors. We need to develop mentors, many of them being the fellow youth. And the other youth can take you for tea and ask you what's going on, and can even start calling you Kiongozi. I would like to see that Kiongozi. The leader.
Zelendo.
If you are deviant and I call you leader,
Yes.
probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction. What if I brought you to the right direction, you lead to the right direction?
Have we brought too much democracy? One, has it come too early?
Yeah, okay.
Does it create, because we are heading towards the security element of it. You find that most of the youth we have know more about what is happening in Afghanistan, in Iraq, but if you ask him about who is your governor of Kitui, Dr. Malombe,
Malombe.
they don't know.
They don't know.
But is it the radio Is it the TV? Is this the digital
The digital world. Yeah.
which I'm trying to find out from you, because we see the element of radicalization of youth. Is it the democracy that has come too early, that we don't have a middle class structures?
Yeah. So I want to address that in two areas. And let's say, for example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp has maybe gone beyond 1 billion texts a day.
Exactly.
Passing anyone else. But I don't want, it is attractively misleading to think that because they are in social media, I really, when I look at the figures and what is happening and I read a little bit more, I find the people who are radicalized, they are not necessarily those who are on social media.
Yes.
These are people without, they are sitting in the mango tree by your city. They are not necessarily on WhatsApp. They are kind of vulnerable. They have no chance. They are hungry. The only person who knows when so-and-so is hungry, he will do anything, is the fellow youth. So social media affects well-to-do a lot students or youth who have access to social media. Let me tell you where democratization really, I feel, hurts the whole thing. Responsible reporting, journalism, and also responsible political process. We have seen a lot of people just running for the office, and after a while, they are having big cars, and according to the youth, and because, according to the youth, there is Swahili, they use mzee anaweza, huyu mzee anaweza. Like, this gentleman is totally able, because he has a car, he is able to show you money. Our role models are not the role models going to the right direction. And also they listen to the conflict. And I was impressed when the President Kenyatta came to talk to us in Washington, D.C. He kind of said in the media, talk about your country in a positive sense, because you use the platform. Yes, people need to talk some things that are diverse, but talk about things about goodness of your country as well. So we would like to see the political process, which is freedom of speech. They do not process or kind of inject things that say, youth, you are neglected. If you don't do this, you can cause violence. Indirectly, they are preaching violence.
Jeff,
yes,
look at this.
Yes.
We have come from a crisis, a family, government policies, potential of the youth, what they can do.
Yes.
We have now reached the point of security. The youth are insecure fast.
Yes.
Because I could see what you were coming out with.
Yeah.
Is they are not secure of what will happen next.
Yeah. Yes.
Do we have role models in Africa?
No.
We look at many things in Africa.
Yes.
Viewers, when we come back, we want to look at the security. Are the youth insecure in Africa? Do they have security, tenor of security, of where are they going? What will happen to them? Have they been motivated enough? Do they have a background? These are issues that we want, which is coming to today's topic, radicalization of youth in Africa, by people coming, by media, by TV, by newspapers, by writings, by WhatsApp. Because in Africa today we see, as soon as you give somebody 200 shillings, he better feels the airtime than to have food. It is not the food, but the airtime. Thank you. When we come back, keep on giving us more information. The numbers scrolling, the contacts scrolling down. Contact us from Cairo, Cape Town, Abuja, Bamako, Khartoum. Talk to us. Asmara, the big number of youths going into Europe, dying in the Mediterranean Sea. Talk to us. What is making life very difficult for you to walk through the Sahara Desert all the way to that? We'll come back.